Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. When I'm saying welcome back, I'm probably speaking also about myself. Welcome back, Pepe, because the last 3 days I didn't record any video, I didn't go live, I didn't speak about Juve at all. I didn't even speak about Calcio at all. And you will probably tell me, Pepe, but what happened? Are you not aware that there is a big scandal in Italy, in Calcio? In Juve, gambling scandal. Why didn't you speak about it? Well, actually, to be honest, I spoke about it on Thursday immediately with a video, and in the evening I added a few more names, the one of Tonali and Fagioli and Zaniolo on top of the one of Fagioli with Romeo Agresti in the evening, because we had facts, because we had fresh news that we could speak about. But since then, there were no other news. The only thing that I saw since Friday morning, Saturday, Sunday are only speculations. And I don't want to be part of that game, a dirty game, because we are involving names that are absolutely not proven at the moment, just because we heard about, because a guy, ex-paparazzi, someone that was in jail, is holding in hostage the entire football world of Italy. Do I want to put dirt on the name of a Kenan Yildiz that I read a few days ago on some papers or on some podcast, YouTube channels or whatever? No. It's a guy that just started his career. He's just 18 years old. I don't want to play on that one. Do I want to play on Bonucci? No. Even if he left Juve, even if he's there in a justice case with Juve about the way that he left, I don't want to speak about it because we don't know. We have no proofs that he knew about it and he didn't report it. I don't want to go towards what I saw in the recent days, Federico Gatti in big because maybe he's linked or Federico Chiesa. Calma. First of all, we are speaking about human beings. And gambling is a big addiction, is a problem for players of football, but for a lot of humans. So we have to speak about respect with it. And if there are only speculation, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to take responsibility of breaking the career of someone that has absolutely nothing to see with it. Am I here to guarantee you that the name that I mentioned has nothing to do with it? No, because I don't know. So why am I recording today? Because there are some things that we know, especially about Fagioli, Tonali, and Zaniolo. That's what we'll speak about. We'll go slightly towards the words of Cristiano Giuntoli in a super interview of yesterday. But most of all, I want to speak about football. So if you are ready to speak about the scandal, about Giuntoli, about football, put a maximum of like, continue to subscribe, because we start about the game, Milan-Juve, that I can't wait to watch, because then we will speak again about the field. Big game of match day 9 with two teams that are on a mission. Milan, the Rossoneri, they have one door. And they want to open that door, because beating Juve, they go at +7, and most of all, they confirm their first spot in Serie A. What does that mean? That they can continue to dream about their 20th Scudetto, means stitching that second star on their red and black shirt. On the other side, there is another door for Juventus. Not the door that will bring them on first spot, because winning against Milan means -1 of Milan waiting for the result of Inter, but means that you can open a door of dreams, of possibilities, but most of all, about self-awareness, that you are there, that you have all the tools in your hand to compete, to try to fight, to win Scudetto number 39. And yes, you heard me well. I said 39 because I know what they are saying about Wikipedia, Google, Scudetti of Juve are 36, anti-Juve world, Scudetti of Juve are 36, and no, 38. And if you don't believe me, believe one that won them. Zlatan Ibrahimovic yesterday in a conference, he repeated an answer to a young lady that said, what do I have to say to the Interisti that are saying that the Scudetti of Juve are 36? He said they are 38, and you have to be proud about it. I played for Juve that won these two Scudetti, and I can guarantee you, and nobody can put that in doubt, that we were the strongest one on the field. So two different missions for two teams, a special day, not only for us Juventini, for the Milanisti, but also for Timothy Weah, because in today's Gazzetta dello Sport, he said, the Milan of my father against my Juventus. It will be a special day. That's what he said. And what do I want to add? I'm happy to read these words, because today we need sense of belonging. Today we need our players that are probably younger and with less experience than in the past. We need to see them in the eyes and that they show us that they feel sense of belonging to our shirt, that they want to give everything they have to our shirts. It's not the first time that he will play against Milan. The first time it was his first game with Juve in USA when it was a friendly. This time it will be an important game, a real game in Serie A. But will it be a special game for Danilo and for Chiesa? We don't know. Because today in J Medical they will do some further test for Chiesa. Even if there is no lesion, that's already a certainty, has already been stated. But he's still feeling some pain. A bit annoyed when he's doing some movements, and that's why he didn't play against Malta in that 4-0 win against Italy, or with Italy against Malta, and he will not participate against England tomorrow because he already made his return to Coverciano, to La Continassa, sorry, today. He will be there doing some tests. Will it be like the first international break where coming back he had the time that he needed to rest and to start training with his teammates and he was there in the successive game? We will see. We will understand it if we will be able to train tomorrow, on Wednesday, on Thursday, without any problem. If we don't see him training with his teammates, well, we can risk to not see him in the squad list for the second game in a row. Vlahovic should be there, and that's already a positive news. On the other side, well, Danilo will miss the game. Some rumors are saying he could miss up to 20 days, which are a few games, which is super annoying, especially because he's the captain, the one that is giving stability to the defense that was able to keep 5 clean sheets in 8 games. Is it the time for Huijsen? Is it the time for Rogani to take the lead with Bremer and with Gatti? Well, big question mark there. We will see. We have time to speak about the possible solution of Massimiliano Allegri. But Massimiliano Allegri will have a huge challenge if he will have to reinvent the strikers if Chiesa will miss. If he will have to reinvent the defense, he will also probably have to reinvent the midfield. Because if we already knew about Paul Pogba, the question mark is, will Fagioli play or not? Because Pogba will not play, and that's a fact. We already spoke about it. But Fagioli, even if the facts are saying that at the moment he is not banned, and in theory he could play, well, what about the mental health about the player? And that's a big one. That's what we have to understand. Yesterday, Giuntoli spoke in conference and he said, our mission is not to punish him, but to re-educate him, to education again from the start, not only him, but all the players. We have to show him support, staying next to him, backing him up. And I totally agree with that, especially because he said there will be the right person to punish him. So, will he be strong enough to play that game? Maybe the last game. Before him being banned, we will discover it. I feel today that he will not play that game against Milan. But again, let's see where it goes. So what do we know? And that's where we are entering that big scandal. And I told you I didn't want to speak about speculation because I was pissed off. Because that's not what I want to do on the channel. Because I want to speak about football. But of course, and we are used to it, we have to speak about also off-the-field topics. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about Tonali. In huge, in big. Tonali. What a risk. And then you have also Corriere dello Sport, which is going with speculation. 3 players, Tonali, Zaniolo, Fagioli, they will miss the European 2024. We don't even know if Italy will qualify. What are they speaking about? At the moment, we have some facts about Fagioli, but not yet the full story about Tonali and Zaniolo. What are they speaking about? So that's something I don't want to do. I want to do about the things that I know. So what do we know about Fagioli? In a recap, we know that he will totally avoid 5 years of ban. Because 5 years of ban means you have bet on an illegal site, you have bet about football, and you have bet on your own team, and you have also alternated that game. That means active part in influencing other players, in scoring an own goal, maybe receiving a yellow card. These are the facts that can give you to 5 years of ban. We know that Fagioli spoke, he was already heard. What did he say, Fagioli? He said, I bet, unfortunately, because I have that gamble addiction, also on football. Not on my own team. Not on Juventus, but also not in the team that I was involved, like Cremonese and so on and so on. So we can already avoid 5 years of ban. What could be possibly the punishment? 3 years. But because of the fact that the sentence is not out yet, he could find a plea deal that could go up to 50% of the punishment. So we're speaking about 18 months. But on top of that, you can also take into consideration the active way of him going himself, self-incriminating to the prosecutors, that is collaborating in a fully transparent way that can even see the punishment reduced. So from 6 months to 1 year, we don't know yet, but we know that that collaboration, that being transparent of Fagioli, asking for help and admitting, can save probably from going towards a huge, long punishment of being banned from football world. That's what we know. Why are we speaking a lot about Juve player? Well, for a simple fact. Because we don't know about the other ones. Fagioli and Tonali, they were investigating with the police going to Coverciano for one simple reason. They were already on the files of the investigators, but they were doing it in a silent way, needing and taking their time to take all the evidence to then go. But because an ex-paparazzi, and you heard the name Fabrizio Corona, ex-paparazzi, one that has been a lot of time to jail, one that is holding Italy, the Calcio world, in hostage because he revealed these two names out of nowhere because he received leaked information, I don't know from where. Well, the police had to anticipate, being scared that these two persons were deleting some evidences. And that's why we are able today to speak about these two players in addition of Fagioli. What is the problem of Italy Calcio being in hostage in the hands of Fabrizio Corona? That all the players that are involved, apparently up to 30, even some managers, that these players, well, they know that something will happen and they have time to delete all the evidence because Fabrizio Corona, again, not a great person, he said, I will reveal all the names on Tuesday. Probably after the game Italy-England, we will see. We will discover what will be. And probably if names are on the list of the police, well, really fast, there will be the police that will go towards these players to hear them. If there are names that are not in the investigation, the police will let it go, like they did for Zalewski, for example, because he was not on the list, so at the moment, there is no need. It's just a guy that is leaking a name without any evidence, at least as far as we know. And that's why I'm saying pay attention, because it's a bit strange, it's a bit annoying, that because I want the truth to go out. I don't want only Fagioli to be punished, only Tonali set as an example. I want the truth, and everyone that did something bad, they need to be punished. They need to take their responsibility. And if we have this kind of ex-paparazzi, gossip journalists, if we can say it, that are going with this kind of news, what is the scope of it? If you have news and if you want to speak about it, go immediately with it. Or go to the justice if you want to help about a sick football world. So at the moment, I don't understand. We will keep you, of course, up to date about everything that will go on, but I don't want to participate in dirty, strange names that at the moment are not true. What about Giuntoli yesterday? I will not go through all of what he said, but what are the important things? Well, I already told you that he said we need to re-educate the system of football, giving even more courses, putting people aware of not gambling and this and that, showing more support. We will back up Fagioli. There will be the right person that will punish him. And then he spoke about other things in general about Juve. We are without limits. What is without limits? Something that I repeated to you so many times, and that Giuntoli is taking the opportunity to say it so much as he can. Top 4 is crucial, is vital for Juve. Then, if we are there, why stopping dreaming? Why stopping desiring to do more? So we have no limits if we can do it, but we have to show it with facts, step by step. We will come back at the top. That's a promise that he made. What about the Mercato? Well, Italian players are important, a core of Italian players, but we are also looking for the foreign players, the opportunities that we have there. One of the players, and he didn't speak about it, but the rumors of the Mercato are saying, is Thuram. Thuram, that is the big dream apparently, not only of Beppe and a lot of Juventini, but also apparently from Giuntoli. Thuram that will be huge, that will be super difficult to go, but there is an ace in his hands, Ealing Jr., that is not finding continuity, also because we have 3 players on the left side of the field, that could be valued 20 million euro, being inserted in that deal. Ealing Jr. plus money for Thuram. Let me know what you think about that possible swap of players plus money. Would you do it? Ealing Jr., that we are all considering a fantastic promise, a player with a lot of potential. Would you go with Ealing Jr. if Thuram could be the player that comes in return? Or would you go towards the alternatives? And we are speaking about, for example, Samardzic. They are not speaking about, but I want to add the name Kone. Pay attention to Kone. That could be an important player for Juventus in the winter. So pay attention. That's something that I want to tell you without sources. But Kone. Sir Raz, if you're watching the video, please note it down because Kone is a name. Then there is a Gazzetta dello Sport that is going towards another name. They are speaking about Højbjerg. That's for them the target of Juve. It's a name that maybe and why not, but I don't really believe in. What else did he speak about? About the way that he's doing Mercato. He said, I made a lot of mistakes. And when you're doing Mercato, Giuntoli is saying you are doing a lot of mistakes because there are so much dynamics, so much parameters that are entering. Of course, we have algorithms and stats and so on that we are observing, that we are watching, but I'm going with emotions first. That's my first step, the feeling, the emotion, my way of observing. So that's something that I really like because that's how you have to do it. First you watch, first you understand, not only with stats. Stats are there as a tool, but you have still that human being. So I love that way of him speaking. He continued also speaking about his Juventus that he loved. He fell in love with the Juventus of Platini, of Boniek. And then he said also that the Juventus of Marcello Lippi is an emblem of the club, is an icon of the club, is an example of the club. And I totally agree with that because that's the Juve that I fell in love. In the last few days, we spoke about so many legends. We spoke about it. You saw the joy in my eyes, the sparkling eyes I had before that big scandal. Well, if he's going with, that's the example, that's the way to go, is reassuring me a lot. Because if we can have, again, that Juve, mamma mia. Then he spoke about Allegri. What did he say about Allegri? He said, I had the luck to meet a lot of fantastic persons, a lot of fantastic coaches. Well, my role as a football chief is to protect the people I'm working with, to protect the coaches I'm working with, and to understand how to protect them, I need to understand how they work. And that's why I have now worked with Max Allegri, and what I can say about him is a person that is not creating alibis, is not taking excuses. I know that a lot of people always are saying, hey, Max is taking excuses. If you go with facts, what excuses is he taking in a team that, if you're speaking about this year, lost Pogba, probably will lose Fagioli, didn't do any Mercato, not because of what he did on the field, because we qualified to Champions League. If you're going to last year, and Federico Chiesa out of service, and Paul Pogba, and so on, well, he's not speaking about, he's not taking as an alibi. And Giuntoli is confirming that and saying, I was also surprised about the way that he's working. He has that intensity, that dedication to work, like if it was the first day that he's working for the club, something that he appreciated. He said, I came to Juve, of course, for the passion I have for that club. It will take time to go back to the top, but that's a challenge that I'm, of course, taking, that I want to take. We already had worked on a project with the club and with the coach for the future, but we want to respect the supporters on the field, the supporters that come to watch the games. We have to work every single day to bring back Juventus what it deserves to be. We'll have a core of Italian players, but we also have to pay attention to the foreign markets, and that's something that I like. First of all, because I told it, I don't want to spend too many money on Italian clubs to reinforce them and then zero gratitude from them to us, but also because there are some talents that are probably a bit more cheaper on external markets. Mikao Datse, for example, too late now, he went to Ajax that scored 4 goals with the national team Georgia the last time. Fantastic player. But there are so many players that we probably don't even know. Well, external markets, pay attention to that. And then he finished speaking about Milan Juve. Yes, it is a game that is important for the self-awareness. He said we have to play without fear and showing that we want to win that game, to create self-awareness that at the moment is missing from the team. You see? What we spoke about, he's confirming it. At the moment, we are not 100% sure of what we are. And winning against Milan can give us a bit of self-esteem, self-awareness. Tuttosport is speaking about the words of the technical sporting director of Frosinone that said, if you want Sule back in January, well, we are open to let him go back. But also Barrenechea, one of Barrenechea or Sule. We have a fantastic good collaboration with Juve. We are interested in players like Dean Huijsen on loan, like Nicolucci on loan. And if you need one of these players back, Sule or Barrenechea, well, we are open for discussion. Well, what can I say about that? Sule is having the moment of his life. I don't see Juventus at the moment playing in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 let him stay where he is. On the other side, we are not speaking a lot about Barrenechea, that is doing a fantastic start of a season, and probably, if we need one of both, the one that can be used the most at the moment is probably Barrenechea. Think about it. Then Soulé, next year I want him to be there at Juve, with a plan for Soulé, to put him in his best possible position to offer the most to Juve. But at the moment, let him continue. Then what are the other names? Well, we spoke about it. Kefren Thuram is a player that could be important with the card eating Junior. Would you do it or not? Players like Holberg, the Gazzetta dello Sport is saying, would you do it or not? There are some other players, Samardzic, but difficult because Udinese is not in an easy moment. Would you do it or not? And then a name that they didn't mention, but I mentioned, Manu Kone. Pay attention. Could be a name. So ragazzi, that was it for me. Put the maximum of like. Continue to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza. Juve.